Hi everyone, this is going to be an overview explanation of what Audi Active Lane Assist is and how it works. Audi Active Lane Assist is, kind of as the name implies, it is an active lane departure prevention system. It's not just lane departure warning, it will actively, correctively steer the vehicle back into its lane if it's detected. I'm going to go over the system parameters and how to use it. There are some systems out there that use the brakes on individual sides of the vehicle to try to tug it back into its lane. This vehicle actually uses the steering wheel itself. It'll use the electric power steering and it will nudge it back into its lane. If you're not sure if your vehicle has Audi Active Lane Assist, you can go into the MMI. There's two different ways. I'm going to show you the harder way first, or the longer way. Go into Car, Systems, and then you go to Driver Assistance, and this will tell you it has Audi Active Lane Assist. The only thing you can do in here is turn the vibration warning on or off. But the other way, the easy and the fast way to tell, I'll just back out of all this stuff here, is going up here in the map light. It's going to be hard to see. But on the end of the turn signal stock, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it or not, you can see there's a little picture of highway lane markings. I'm sorry if you can't see it. There's going to be a picture of a little highway lane marking, and there's a button on the end of the turn signal stock. Pushing that button, as you can see here, we're in the assist screen of the trip computer. To get to this screen, you want to press your main buttons here, the main menu buttons on the top, and go over to the car one, which is going to be in red. And then you want to press this one here to bring up the sub menu, and you want to be in the one that says assist. That's for driver assistance. So that's the screen we're in. Now, Audi Active Lane Assist never defaults to being on. You have to physically turn it on if you want it on. And it's only going to be active above about 40 miles per hour. But you can turn the system on at any speed. So I'm going to push that button right now. And you see what happens is we get a little amber colored lane marker light. That looks like a little highway road. That's the same picture that you see next to the button on the turn signal stock. Then you might have noticed the little gray lines that go on either side of the car. So if I turn it off, you can see the little gray lines. That means the system's on. When the vehicle detects a lane, or one side of the lane, you're going to see those dark gray lines turn bright white. That means that the vehicle knows and it can see the lane marker. It doesn't have to be both sides of the road. Let's say the middle of the road is covered in snow, but the side has been plowed. It will work on the right side of the car, for example. So that's how you can tell. It'll work on either lane, or both of them will light up. When the system's active and detects the lane, not only will these two things turn white, this light down here will turn green. That means it's going to work. So, and again, it'll work about above 40 miles an hour. It will very gently just nudge the steering over. If you try to if you try to do a lane change on the highway, the system will fight you and steer you back into the lane if you're not using the turn signal. If you put the turn signal on, then that will temporarily cancel Audi Active Lane Assist because the vehicle knows that you intend to do a lane change, and it's not going to try to keep you in that lane. If you're on the highway and you're making a very shallow turn, or a very slight turn, the vehicle will do it for you, pretty much. I don't recommend doing this, but it will if you happen to not be paying attention. If the turn is too sharp on the highway, the car is not going to try to, veer it around the corner. It's going to, the lane markings are going to turn red, and it's going to vibrate the steering wheel a little bit, and it's not going to keep steering you. It'll start to steer a little bit, but then you need to take over and start driving the car. And if you take your hands off the wheel for more than a few seconds, the car will yell at you and say, please continue to steer the vehicle, and stuff like that. So yeah, general overview, doesn't have to be able to see both lanes. It does have to be over 40 miles an hour. So they just turn white, your little light turns green, the car will actively steer, you can turn the vibration on and off. I've used it a few times. It's a pretty neat system. It's also kind of handy if you're on a crappy highway and there's a big rut in the road and it kind of jerks the car over to one side. It'll kind of prevent it from going too far over to the lane, if that makes any sense. If that's ever happened to you. Or like a crosswind. If you get a big crosswind and it kind of knocks the car around and if you might have gone over the line a little bit, the car will steer itself, back over a little bit. It's a very non-invasive system. It feels pretty natural. It's not jerky, it's smooth, and it doesn't give you more steering correction than it needs to. It'll give you the absolute minimum it needs. Now, that doesn't mean it doesn't work very well. I'm just saying it's not rough in the way that it does. It doesn't overcorrect. It's just a very well-calibrated and well-done system. I used to hate all these kind of electronic nannies and think they're stupid, but if you get really well-done systems, they can be really useful driver aids. So I really like Audi Active Lane Assist now that I've used it. It works pretty well. But don't be an idiot with it playing around. Drive the car. Don't show off your friends and say, hey, look, no hands, and then hit a semi-truck. But, use your head. It's a useful feature. It's not designed to be an autonomous steering system. It's just an assist feature. So that's how it works. Let me know if you have any questions.